Alright, so let's see where we left off. If you haven't already, open up your project.
Scott sounds so excited to work with us.
Thrilled. No, I am. I've got a ton of shit to do, so it's always on my mind. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did.
We're doing user auth, but yeah, I think we're working on navbar. Beautiful.
It's a Northern Light website.
I have no idea. I was just Googling I just like.
All right, so I went into the client folder, SRC components, nav folder, and then nav.js is where we're at right now. Anybody still need a minute getting set up?
Yeah, what did you say this folder was?
Yeah,
Components,
Big components?
nav.js.
Inside component, so it's at the client folder, then SRC,
Yeah, big components.
then components, and then nav.
I think whatever one that forks doesn't have it. It's all good.
What are mine?
Switch branch. What branch are you on?
They could be on the master.
What branch am I supposed to be on?
User auth, I think user dash.
Yours not working, right?
It might not
Mine
be.
will
Oh, user.
pushed my user auth and merged. Can you guys see? Yeah,
Might
I'll
not
just create a new branch.
Yeah, just create a new
Just
branch.
call it nav, I guess.
User.
Well, user auth because we're still doing user auth.
What if I already had user
Yeah.
auth?
Does it matter?
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, just make sure you delete the original user auth and then just make a new one. Yeah.
Something happened with mine as well.
No, you can't see the other branch other than master.
So I know this is our first time doing this, guys, but please next time when we're gonna do this,
You ready?
please make sure everything's working and set up before.
It's all good. You can start without me, man.
No, it's not just you, man. You're good.
What file are we doing?
Did you say?
What it probably is that.
What did you
I
type?
have user auth we're working on, where we put the nav, that hasn't been.
Did you do that? Did you?
Pushed in order to get, so you
Delete
can't pull that.
That makes sense.
I'm at master. I pulled from master, delete all my branches.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can create a new branch. Slot the
Yeah,
same
it's-
user auth. That's
Oh.
it.
Because that's, he forked a repo that he
Right.
made. And so this stuff is all done in user auth.
Yeah, but if he makes a branch,
See if that one works
then
for
it'll
us.
remotely track.
And VM run there?
I just delete all my branches. And then just
I'm
user
trying to
auth.
check out.
User auth.
It's branch.
Who's repo did you fork?
shirts.
And good to go.
And it's still not working.
Alright, hold on.
So Shot, I sent you mine, see if that one works.
Did you merge all your stuff in?
Yeah, I just found like a good
Did you ever push your user off
site
that?
for that. I think it's like
Yeah, you never pushed it because you don't have it either.
I have it.
Not on
it
good.
just create another branch.
Merge for
No,
From there, from master, did you
Did you
check out the history?
client and
Either other,
service.
same thing, same thing, you told me to.
Two branches.
You probably just never pushed the user auth branch from your computer.
Oh.
Not on good.
Dude, I know you can fly from San
Push user
Diego to
off,
Anchorage.
but it's not there.
I'm not talking to you.
sometimes they'll play like not on the winter, but they'll like just.
Yeah, just make sure you activate everything. Here's good status, make sure everything's activated and then push it. And then
But I think
we'll follow
JetBlue
it from
is it's like seasonal,
JetBlue's good too.
but they won't like fly year round up north.
You started. Yeah.
NPM
To
run
start
dev,
run dev.
NPM run dev, I think.
Run them just from the.
Any folder, the client or the iShop.
But yeah, like
Yeah, just.
my friend that we're doing, like he's
We
The way it is.
weren't supposed to merge it.
we both just have last.
So it's not on the, so
he
it's
Oh,
work from
I'm
out
merging.
now.
I
I changed it
he has a
to
credit
to
card,
master.
and so
Now
now
it's
it's
merged. So
we
that's
get
it,
the whole
merged.
companion pass.
Whatever, I
So
pushed
they
it
can
in
buy
my.
just
You merged it or just pushed it?
Already
they're like round trip.
I merged it.
You merged it, okay.
600 some bucks.
For
like round trip ticket. But what it is, if it's a companion pass,
So
you basically get a
just-
second
just-
ticket.
just
for like
fetch all
100 some
to
bucks.
the branch.
And so we just
Out,
basically split that,
not branch.
and then it evens out a little
Yeah,
bit.
you don't need to master, you need, now,
Yeah.
go again.
Go back to the last in the summertime. I wanna go spearfish salmon,
full
halibut.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
And
awesome.
full master.
My boss was spearfishing salmon in one of the big bays, and it's ripping current, and he thought like a boulder was like underneath him. And I just was swimming after and realized there's a giant halibut in the shot. He had like 3 small men who shot it. It was 184 pounds. And like and just like a 30-foot float line. Usually you need like some really heavy duty gear.
Alaska's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, it's like so big.
We have master.
So many cool places.
Yeah.
I've only seen. I'd love to go back and just like check out more spots there.
Yeah, the only place I've been to similar would be like in Norway, like going to like
Yeah.
the and stuff
Yeah.
like areas. I go in there, and I know that all in Alaska also is so huge, and
Yeah.
it's also the US have any area, you know.
Well,
Definitely
I
cheaper
know.
than Norway.
Oh, yeah.
Expensive, but,
What area?
cool to road trip up there, so you have
Oh,
a
yeah.
car, just stay up there for like a month in the summertime.
I have friends who've done that. They've gone from here all the way there, and you go from like Alberta to like the
You need
Canadian
to
Rockies.
install it.
That's
Yeah,
the really
beautiful.
rough.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
Did you do
I
it
won't
both the
visit
server,
in like Alberta, like Banff, in like spring, so there's still like a lot of snow on the lakes. You
So I just pushed it in budget right now, so if you, if you can
turquoise blue. The color
go
of the
again
lakes there.
now. Yeah.
It's called I don't know, one's called Lake Louise. It's really pretty. She's acting like Lake Louise. And it's,
did you do anything but Dennis?
yeah, I know.
Works?
Mhm.
Dude, London.
Anywhere else? Mine is working, but just I don't have files.
Yeah, just a client.
Next time, better we go. You should be.
Yeah,
You
they
can
got
build
time
up
to
two
get
different
together.
pattern JSONs.
Oh, I know, everything.
You have 404? You don't have merged.
Whoops.
Okay, yeah.
You have everything
Not just
else.
full, yeah.
Should I just do it actually? But the master, your master is not.
I'll just go into it.
Oh, same there.
Have you, did you message?
I'm not bundling things.
No, it's not bundle thing. Stop your server again and start again.
What's that?
And then, run that.
Should we also-
She like goes like a shop, like What's
You guys getting it or?
No.
I was
Is it
able
working,
to
Chris,
fix
or
it.
no? Is it-
Yeah, I have to npm install and then it should work.
Mine tells me I have a missing binding and I need to run npm rebuild node sass dash sass. Because I'm missing binding.
Stop your server and
I
start
did.
it again. Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Guys, we owe Scott a full pack of Diet Coke now, for sure. Maybe 20.
Yeah, it's like morning after a good weekend in company, troubleshooting, everything.
I tried
One after good weekend.
Yeah.
And then I tried it.
No, it's always like that. Everyone like, well, it doesn't work. Everything's gone.
Everything's broken.
Do you like the coffee bean coffee or the Starbucks?
I like both.
We're in the same command, we made a folder, but that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I guess I would say it depends though. They have different things.
Hey Michael, to get to the sign-in page, it's local 3000 / sign-in, or no, you have something else before sign-in?
I forget. I just ran dev. I haven't called.
I don't even know if we have a sign.
Is that any good from coffee bean and
Okay.
Starbucks? No, latte.
At this point,
Just
slash account first.
During
Oh,
the holidays,
slash
you get
Slash account slash check-in.
Yeah, I got sign up.
Always nice.
Or you can just sign up.
Okay,
Slash
that's
account. Slash account, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, right now my local post 3000 is just giving me the 404. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Or that's mean we have something working.
Yeah.
I was thinking we already create any components.
What's up?
Can your video set not block the screen?
Is it on my giant monitor? I got my cafe set up.
Slightly jealous. Yeah, that's totally
Just watch. You see my commit history? You take a picture of like crumbs, all like croissant crumbs all over the lot.
You gotta send me a picture of the paella, like the paella.
Dude, I haven't had the pie yet.
I've seen these places, they have this like huge like bowl, like
Yeah.
over fire.
Yeah.
Like a huge pot of like homemade, like
I'm all about that.
that's what I need to do. So
But that's cooked by a family, right? It's more a personal thing rather than a.
Yeah, they got like the
Restaurant
7-year-old
thing?
kid just stirring it. Just like child labor.
Dude, what I really want to try is they do this barbecue where you cook the meat and vegetables underneath the ground.
the ground.
Yeah.
Dude, do you want to do a pig roast?
Yeah, like
Pig roast.
a Filipino pig roast is so good, dude.
You had it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, but you saw the YouTube video?
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I gotta live vicariously through people, yeah.
Anyway. I like to do that like my place in Mac sometimes because they can just do whatever the fuck you want. Just like dig a big hole, like order like a small pig from like a butcher and just like hunt in there.
Where is this? Where?
Like you know, my place in Mac do that. But if I did it at my parents' place, they wouldn't like that. Just dig a hole in there. Right.
I'll see, like if I get the chance, I'll see if I can find it. It's not if you're like around a place and you have like a good coffee shop.
Yeah.
You're like up
You bring me
there.
some beans, like I'll pay for like some coffee beans for it.
You want some coffee beans? Yeah. I don't know if they I'm not
Are they
just like
beans or
Nescafe.
Oh, they don't really use
They just
like.
like shit. Oh, there's a need to get coffee, but like.
They're probably not as big as like Signature or something.
No, I don't think the quality is as good.
I think Madrid is more something like
Yeah.
certain type of foods is more their specialty. Right?
Yeah, just like fresh food. The problem is you can't wait to get it back.
Not even. It's like
Here's
France, you
my-
got like more like pastries. I'm sure their pastries in Madrid are awesome too. That's what their specialties.
Oh, everyone good now?
It's just fresh ingredients, like good quality.
Good.
Everyone's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, for.
So right now, all we have is the 404 page showing up. One quick thing to fix. This is a little bit off center because of the nav bar. The materialized nav bar is always 64 pixels high. If we inspect it, we could see that it's 1280 by 64. So that's the height it always is. Since that's consistent, we could fix the centering issue by doing. If we go to our general folder 404.scss, on the not found container, we could change the height from 100 view height. We could wrap it in calc. And then 100 view height minus 64 pixels. And then that should fix that little centering issue. Now it's actually centered.
And where's that calculated? What is this? Where did you get the 64 pixels from?
The height of the nav bar.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So then the total thing, including that, would be 100. I mean, it would be 100 minus. Okay.
No, not 100 minus. So 100% the view height. So whatever the view height is, minus 64 pixels. That way it centers it in this side. So it's essentially from the bottom of the nav bar to the bottom of the page.
Rather than the top.
So we're saying make that the height.
Okay.
Okay, are we good with that? And calc is just a CSS thing. That's not SAS or anything. CSS has a calc function. All right, so in nav, what we need to do is we need to render our links. So we'll make a method inside of nav.js. We'll say render links. And right now we're going to fake the auth, and we'll just say auth equals false. And then we'll say const okay, let's do this. Or no, okay, yeah. Const just kidding again. Let's do let auth links equal an empty array. Let non auth links also equal an array. And then we'll do const common links equals we'll do const deconstruct auth common and non from state. And we can't use auth because we already used auth, so we'll say what should we call it? Auth Well, let's rename it as nav off. So we'll say nav, we'll say common dot map. Get the link. And then we'll return an LI. With link text in it. We'll give it a key of link.2 because that'll be unique to each one. And then to property of also link.2. Instead of doing auth links and non-auth links, we could actually just use one of those. We just do auth links. And then we could do if auth links equals auth.map. Yeah, let's actually do this. Let's make a little helper function called build link. And then we'll say link and then return. And we'll just copy this LI from right here, cut it, paste it. And then instead of in the map, then we'll just say this dot build link. There we go. A little bit easier, so don't keep duplicating ourselves. And so on our navoff.map, we can do the same thing. This dot build link. Else auth links equals non auth dot map. This dot build link.
The build link, you need to pass it a parameter? Or
It'll pass it automatically. Because our map is actually calling the function, and when it calls it, it's going to pass it the item and the index. Because that's what map passes any callback function.
What's the point of giving the LI keys?
Because we're looping, they have to have keys. Anytime you loop over elements in React, man, remember?
Wait, what?
Anytime you have an array of elements, you have to give them keys. You don't remember that?
Unique identifier map, if you map a map, or I just
It's a map
basic
for you.
JavaScript or what?
Yeah.
It's a React thing.
Okay.
Did you not follow the React? I don't remember. I thought you did React. No.
You did backend.
Oh, okay. Scared me for a minute. I'm like, dude, Jesus Christ! Like, we talked about this several times.
Yeah, he definitely did React.
Yeah, it's something whenever you have an array of JSX elements, React uses it to uniquely identify each one in the array so it could faster make changes and adjustments to the DOM by directly going by its key instead of its position in the array.
Okay.
It's just an efficiency thing.
I go head first into the back end.
Yeah, head up your ass.
All right, then we'll return a new array where we will deconstruct common links and deconstruct the auth links. And so that should take both arrays and essentially make one array, concatenates the two arrays together. And then you guys still need a second with that method? We good? All right, so now that we have that, we'll come down to our nav. Inside of our nav, we'll do a div with nav-wrapper. And then we'll do oh, I'm retarded. Ugh. We need to make links in our LIs. What the hell am I thinking? Link from routed on. So we need to update our build link thing to, I don't know what I was thinking here. This needs close to a link, right? And that 2 goes on to the actual link itself. Well, another good thing that we turn this into a little method so we don't have to fix this in 3 different places. There we go. That's what that should look like. All good?
Oh, 1 sec.
Go to your imports.
I just imported
Link from
link
React.
from React Article.
I don't know why, but I have import listener count from cluster. Is that even?
No, delete that.
Okay.
It was that was your code editor trying to be helpful. It's something you typed and it made an auto import for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All good?
Yeah.
So we'll go back down to our render. We have our nav wrapper. We'll throw a link in here with a class name of brand logo. 2 equals home, just /. And then we'll do our little logo, iShop. And then in here, we'll do a UL. And then in the UL, we will do this dot render links, and we'll call that. All right, if you're still needing this, I'll come right back to it. I just want to see if it's even working. So we're getting there. It's not quite there, but we're getting there. So on the UL, we want to do a class name of right. There we go. And we need to add some padding. How we doing?
Getting a bunch of errors.
Always go to the first error. Always scroll up.
Module build failed.
So if module build failed, then syntax error. So you can see right here, something is wrong on line 42. It's not liking. That's because you don't have your little closing caret there.
That's it. Right. There you go.
All right, how we doing, everybody? Are we good?
I get that.
So one other quick thing I'm going to do.
You didn't call it. This dot record. Parentheses. Right after next. I don't know if that's what your error was, but you're supposed to call it
That probably would not have thrown an error, but the links would have not shown up.
Hey Scott, can I see your line?
Line 50?
Yeah.
Well, this is now.
That has to be done.
Yeah.
I think undefined is not a function.
Undefined is not a function?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be accurate. Undefined is not a function. Undefined is not a function after line 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Go to your Node.js.
Scroll up.
Oh,
CO. Yeah, no, enter there too. CO. Go in. Scroll
just Node one is working.
CO.
Oh, you're right in the link area. Yeah.
go to your Node.js.
Or are you thinking?
Either Node.js go down. In the right, do you have the Okay, so let's see what, from there what you got. Civilian.
Giving some weird errors, so it's not syntax error.
Just want to move on.
Right. Const.
Build link.
Oh, I don't want.
That will do it.
Go down.
So why did
After
it
that, the
fail
render.
again?
Render.
So it's so hard to find that one thing that's missing.
Oh, you gotta call it
Not
links.
defined. Okay.
No, but like the
Yeah,
parentheses.
preserve. Well, not.
You have to use the.
Oh, snap.
Is that in
There.
I really hope that's it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And it's fine, so
This should all be good over
See,
here.
I mean, I made it one thing.
that shit crazy.
So you go back down.
Big one. Ooh, look at that. Correct. But still not.
That's probably the SAS file.
Looks like my sense not working, but
Go to your the SAS file.
That's not a big deal.
Did you add the whole thing to the height? and all
So you have an array. Somewhere you have an object. This should be a
Yeah, check
array.
actual 4 picks.
This
So make sure you named everything correctly.
So hard to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got it.
That's it, right?
So I guess in
Oh,
return,
boy.
you rather return like
There you go.
that's
All right, what's the file name?
go to a regular.
You got
That matters.
iShop.
Let's see what's
Oh, you
that.
haven't inside a div. You take that
That's
out.
correct.
Which one?
Go to the stats file
Wait.
again.
Yeah, I think you're.
Not found.
No, maybe.
And then we did like the list.
Bring it down.
Put some space
all
on there.
Inside the same
Okay.
one. Yeah, that, it's like iShop is huge there.
Oh, thanks very much. It's bugging me.
There did.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everybody good? All right, so now that we have kind of the initial nav bar showing up, let's do a quick test. Let's change our auth from false to true, just to see if it changes our links to make sure all that's working properly. So now it says home, shop, orders, and profile.
Can you please open again the code?
Just changed auth to true, man. That is it. One other thing that we could do too is we could build dude, it really shouldn't be that hard.
His nav bar, it's the home shop and orders aren't showing up on the right side.
Oh, okay, so when I asked if it was good, it wasn't good. Is that what we're
errors
saying?
came- Okay, no errors came, so we thought it was good.
Okay.
Okay. Spelled shit wrong.
The only other thing, if part of it's showing up and not all of it, it would maybe be in the return statement is wrong. Like if some of it's working but not all of it, it's either here or the state or your state's messed up.
It's still live.
Dude. For the holidays, it's been great. I just extended the fast to like right before I eat. And I just pigged the fuck out.
Good. Do you feel like bloated after all that? Like just eating a stupid amount of food and just.
For me, it's actually hard to eat food. Because I feel like I'm pretty sure everybody stomach shrinks when you're fasting. So it's like, I eat like, I don't know, let's say if I eat like 1,000 calories a day, I wouldn't feel like hungry. So I'm like, I force myself to eat a bit more.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm trying to like move in that direction.
are you trying to?
Yeah, maybe right now I'm trying to at least wait till I do.
For you though, it's gonna be hard because you do some pretty intense workouts and, you know.
Yeah,
and
kind of
everything.
we'll go to practice today. I'll definitely be eating before that, like
Yeah.
several times. Yeah.
Yeah, you just burn so many more calories, so it's like, I think you have to just like when you do, you have to really eat a lot, yeah.
But he like told me this
Return
is not bad though. Yeah, like
Hey,
why
that's
we wait
two.
until we.
Return stuff to function.
Do like 3,
Still a long time away.
no, but that honey baked ham, I was just all over it. Jeez.
All right, so when you change auth to true, you should get a different set of links. One other thing we probably want to do is we probably want to add a log out button. I usually use a button just because it's easier than trying to do it with a link. I mean, you could use a button that's styled like a link or just use a link that has an on-click, but all that's kind of a pain in the butt. So we're just going to make a log out button, and we'll make a little helper function for that too, because we're going to need it in multiple places. So I'm going to do render log out, and we're using sign. So I'll do sign out, sign out. And I'm just going to do a button that says sign out. And then I'm just going to do kind of a temporary on click equals, and I'll just throw an anonymous function in here and do console.log sign out clicked. It's not going to actually do anything, just so we can see that the button's working. We'll update functionality later. And then we'll do a class name of kind of doing a gray, maybe like a gray and blue theme. So we'll do a class name, oops, sorry, quotes, button. We can do the wave effect, wave is white, and then finally I think I'll do like a blue, like a gray and blue theme. You guys can do whatever colors you want, of course.
Scott, quick question. Is that a plugin you downloaded so you can see all the classes from Materialize?
It's just VS Code.
Oh, why doesn't it do that?
I might, you know what, I might have a see now that I think about
You
it.
don't have to look into it. I was just
Yeah, just take 2 seconds. IntelliSense for CSS class names. So yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool when it works. It doesn't work all the time, but when it does work, it's awesome. Because it has like even like all the class names you define too. Like it has all the class names for all the project. Yeah, it's really cool.
Do you use Prettier at all or no?
Absolutely not. I hate any of those. Yeah.
I was told that's really good for like if you're trying to get like, you know, more like commits or merges on GitHub. You just do Prettier on and off, and you change like hundreds of lines of code.
That is literally the worst advice I've ever heard in my life. Who said that?
Paul was joking and told me that.
And then I, after I just got onto Sasha for this, I didn't do it. We got to make sure we return our button out of here. The irony. So we have our button, waves effect, waves, nice and blue, on click, sign out. That should be good for the moment. If we need to make tweaks to it, we can. And then right here at inside of our auth. So if we are authorized, then we'll do auth links dot push, and we'll push in an li, and then we'll do curly brackets this dot render sign out, and make sure to call that. And that should put the sign out button at the end, in theory. I'm going to take a quick look. If you're still typing, I'll come right back to it. So it looks like it worked. The only thing is we need a unique key. So we'll on the li, we'll do a key equal to / sign dash out. Just to match with our other key formats. Cool. Do you guys ever think of just using push to push JSX into an array?
No.
I'm
Okay,
very
that kind of
confused.
blew my mind. I was like low key about it, but yeah.
Yeah, that was one of like the real like aha moments for me with React was like realizing that anything you can do with an object, you can do with
Can you
JSX.
please go off into that button?
What's that?
Into the button?
The button.
Oh, you need to see the button still?
It's pretty crazy pushing the LI with JSX.
Yeah, like, so what does that show up in terms of,
Oh, just the button. Oh, I clicked on.
like if you cycle through the array,
on here,
what's gonna
you
show
click on
up?
something else, it says-
Just it's an array of objects.
Oh,
Click, 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 click.
All JSX turns into objects.
Yeah.
So like if you actually looked at the array.
Yeah, if you can console log it.
I'll do that, see what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just an array of objects.
Aren't you pushing it after it maps over it though?
Yeah. So it builds the array, and then I'm adding one more thing into it. All this map does is return a new array.
What else you change?
Oh.
It says, I didn't see that well from here or what. Just
Maybe you should move closer if you're having a hard time seeing.
Oh, God.
Sasha.
What's it? What's the problem?
no, the same thing. I always again lose something somewhere. Don't know where.
Did you look at that array, Andrew? I'm looking right now. It's weird.
I'm not seeing the button.
No?
I don't have button as well.
Auth has to be set to true to see it. So inside of your render links, auth has to be set to true, otherwise you're not going to see it.
I have also
Did you make sure to return from render sign out?
somewhere else. What to change? What here? Maybe.
Yeah, all we did was build the render sign out function and then added that line.
The whole type of thing with the dollar signs, you have that too? What is that?
That's an object.
It has to be part of that NPM package.
Oh,
Or JSX, like the bundle.
Yeah, because I've only
Map
just seen regular.
map is per race.
Scott, the dollar sign type of ID, is that a JSX thing?
Maybe we
It's React. It's what all the JSX turns into, and that's just. But if you actually like look into it, you can see some familiar stuff in it too. Like it's crazy it is to look at.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it says type.
You can tell like the type of element it is,
Yeah.
what children it has.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. Fiber node.
Yeah.
That's what I need in the morning.
A fiber node.
Let's try a new trend.
It's up.
After.
All good?
Woo!
Yay.
You just console logged auth links? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh right, I was just building. Did you guys not
When you do that?
Oh, sorry.
All right, so we're all good.
You just, yeah.
Let's do one more thing and then we'll take a little break. So it drives me crazy personally, and I don't know why Materialize does this, but it puts things in the navs up against the edge.
Yeah. It doesn't-
So what we'll do is we'll go to our folder structure, and inside of our nav folder, we'll make a new file, and we'll call it nav.scss.
That's that.
As this group said, with its very feminine logo.
Alright, that was admin.
I like it.
All right, and then so what we'll do is we'll do nav element, and we'll do padding, top and bottom 0, left and right like 12 pixels. And once you have that, then we just need to import it into Nav.js and it should work in theory. So then at the top of Nav.js, we will do import from this directory, nav.scss. And then I'll come right back. I just want to make sure it works. So you can see now the logo and the sign out button actually have a little bit of space on each side.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, so that's looking pretty good. When we come back, we'll make this mobile responsive, so it collapses down and does a hamburger menu with the slide out side nav. So we'll get all that going, and then hopefully we can actually set up like creating an account and all that stuff. All righty, sound good? And we'll continue in part 5.